Right, so good evening, everyone. I'm Romil, and today we are here to speak about Mount Kilimanjaro climb. I hope I'm audible. In case I'm not, please mention the same. Right, so
You're audible. Yeah.
great. Thank you so much for the confirmation. So our next batch for Kilimanjaro starts on 16th of March, which means that is the day one, and you're supposed to reach on 16th of March to a place called Kilimanjaro Airport. The code for same is JRO, in case you are booking the flights now, if you've not done earlier. And so once you reach Kilimanjaro Airport, somebody will be there at the airport to pick up and take you to a place called Moshi. Moshi is a town in Kilimanjaro. Weather is going to be pleasant at this time of the year, wherein half sleeves t-shirt should be enough as regards Moshi is concerned. But as you climb higher, obviously it starts getting cold. Uh, and on day one is primarily gauge check, wherein we make sure that everybody is adequately kitted for the climb. In case something is found lacking during the gauge check, we can always rent it out because there are no options of buying over there. It's a warm place, so winter gear and all is not available. So, but then everything is available on rental, so that's not a problem. Stay in this route. So need to understand that Kilimanjaro, there are multiple routes. Like you have Marangu route, you have Limosho, Machame. So there are multiple routes of climbing. Earlier, we used to do a route called Marangu, which is a 6-day climb. But then we realized that the teams were facing altitude issues because of sudden elevation gain. So we have picked up this route, which is considered to be the easiest for climbing Kilimanjaro. But having said that, it's still difficult. Any mountain you climb is never easy. So keep that in mind. But then, fair to say that compared to all of the routes, this is the most scenic. And other part is that it's the easiest as regards the routes are concerned. So summit rate is very high. In our case, since the time we have started doing uh, Limosho route, all our team members have been able to make it to the top. So we have 100% summit rate on Limosho route, which wasn't the case in Marangu. We had close to 100%, but then Marangu again, there were few people who had issues during summit push, but then on Limosho, that way, it's much easier. Other thing on this route is that you've got to stay in tents and sleeping bag, mattresses, which is there. And once you start your climb, then the Wi-Fi and all is not there. So it's safe to say to the family that you may be out of network for most of the time. At one or two places, you still have network, but then don't bank on it because in mountains, in case of bad weather and all, you don't get all those, Wi-Fi or network. So that is to be understood. Otherwise, it's a gradual climb. On once we start the trek, which is on day two, we go to Limosho Gate, get the permits and all sorted out, and make the entry in the register, and then we start a climb. We reach a camp called Big Tree Camp, which is at 2,650 meters, about 3 to 4 hours of elevation of climb on day two. And then we reach this Big Tree Camp. Now, during the whole briefing, the points I cover, in case anyone has any questions, feel free to ask. That's what we are there for. Please don't hesitate. You can just raise a hand or interrupt me. We'll be happy to answer because rather than we speaking about it, in case you have questions, that will be better. Right? Day three, we go to a place called Shira 1 camp, which is uh, again about 6 hours from Big Tree camp. It takes about 6 kilometers. Now, every day we go, we need to acclimatize first, and then we uh, make sure that the altitude is taken care of. Which means once we reach a campsite, we dump our stuff, then we go to a higher location and come back so that we get a good sleep at night. So that is everywhere we follow, and that's why it becomes a bit difficult as regards physical strain is concerned. But acclimatization wise, you won't have any issues. So that's important to be kept in mind. Right after reaching Shira 1, next day we go to a place called Shira 2 via Shira Plateau, which is 4,200 meters, 8 kilometers, about 6 to 7 hours it takes. Now, whatever data I'm speaking about various days, we have logged on this data on Garmin and we have given a link on our web page. In case you open the web page, you will find the Strava link to all these activities. In case you're still unable to find, you can always ping me and we'll share the link separately to you so that you know that how much is to be covered on a daily basis and how much time it generally takes for the team to reach. Right after reaching Shira 2, we go to a place called Lava Tower on day 5, and then that's the highest point of the day. And then we come down again to Barranco camp. Next day, day 6, we climb the famous Barranco wall, and then we reach Karanga camp. Day 7 is Karanga camp to Barafu camp, and same night we go for the summit push. Unlike other days, summit push, as in any other summit climb, is challenging. It's meant to be that way because you don't want to stay at a higher altitude. So you stay at an altitude which is close to 4,700 meters, go to summit push, which is 5,900 meters, and come down to lower camp. In this case, this is a camp called Maveka Hut. So that day, summit push will be close to 15 kilometers, 10 to 12 hours of ascent and descent. And then last day of the trek, which is day 9, you go from Meveka camp to the gate and then to Mushi. And then we have our customary medal distribution, certificate distribution. At the gate, you get an official certificate with which mentions the time we have reached the summit and all. And day 10 is the departure. So this is in general about the itinerary. Weather-wise, it starts getting cold from day 1 itself. So once you reach the big tree camp on day 2 of the climb, it gets cold. So you need to keep your warm jackets and fleece jackets handy. Last time we climbed in December. It wasn't supposed to be raining, but then in mountains we understand things happen and weather it becomes unpredictable. So keep your rain gears handy with you. Make sure you have your raincoat, your backpack has a rain cover. Also, whatever you're packing inside your backpack or in the pack which you're giving to the porters is well protected from rain because in mountains, rains can happen anytime. So be prepared for that. And apart from that, for the summit push, it gets cold, as you expect from any climb which is close to 58, 5,900 meters. So make sure you have all the warm clothes. Otherwise, as I mentioned earlier, we'll do a gauge check. We'll ensure that the sleeping bag which you will be having, everybody's supposed to have a sleeping bag, or you can rent it out once you reach Moshi. It has to be close to -15 kind of a rating. It's always good so as to have a good warm sleep at night. And summit push, you can expect temperatures between -15 to -20. You don't need crampons or anything because it's not that much snow on the climb. Even if there's snow, it's only on the close to the summit. And that time also you don't generally need crampons unless there's been a fresh snow. The rest of the things, yeah, tents and all are twin sharing unless you have asked for a separate tent in advance. The porters carry all the stuff, so you're only supposed to carry the day pack, and day pack will have your your rain gear, your fleece jacket, or what else? Yeah, some snacks and water bottle, of course. So these kind of things. Yeah, this was in general about the whole climb. Apart from that, I'm sure everyone has gone through the webpage of the climb. In case you have not, ping me, we'll share the link. Otherwise, it's given on the website. So on the website, you'll have 2 itineraries, one of Marangu route, the other one is of Lemosho route. The one, as I mentioned earlier, we're doing Lemosho route. So go through that. That is that is the link we'll be referring for the climb. From gear perspective, you should have make sure generally, yeah, this is important. That what happens is if you have done a trek about a year or two before, and now you're coming for this trek and you open your shoes, they may be new, but then since they've not been used for a year or two, it's always advisable to train in them or walk in them for some time, at least a week before you start the climb, so that in case of any breakages or any loose stitches and all, you come to know, because they've had issues wherein people bought new shoes, used it once, and then for 3 years they couldn't join for any trek due to some reason, and then they open and start using the shoe for the climb, and then they've suffered some problem, right? So that's important that you have used the shoe earlier. Apart from shoes, you need to have good warm socks for the summit push, good thermals. First, we'll go for the lower one, lower thermals. Apart from that, good warm trouser, preferably windproof as well because it gets windy once we're going for the summit push. On top, you will have thermals, fleece, down jacket, windproof jacket in case your down jacket is not sufficient enough. Good warm gloves because your fingertips are the ones which generally feel very cold. So make sure your gloves are very warm. Then you will have good woolen cap, headlight, water bottle, at least two water bottles, 1 liter each, and a thermos. Thermos again, preferably 1 liter one. A good backpack so that it's not a laptop bag or something and which keeps pulling you down once you're going for the walks. Good goggles, UV protected, and yeah, the backpack has to be waterproof or it should have a waterproof cover to avoid from in case of rains and all. Trekking poles are must because it's a long climb and multiple days, so do carry them. Spare batteries for your headlight, that is again important. That's about it in general about the whole climb. uh, the people there speak English, the staff and all, so there's no problem. You'll be able to communicate. They're very friendly, like our Nepal and all, unlike South America or Russia, wherein the guides and all are difficult to handle. Here, the staff is very very kind and very friendly, so that should not be a problem. List of medicines you're supposed to we'll carry a complete medical kit along with the oxygen cylinder, but then in case of personal medication, do carry them. I'll request Rachit to share it in the group, the personal medication which the individual is supposed to carry, so that in case something is needed, it's always handy. 25th is the return flight, so 25th morning, in case you want to fly, it's fine, you'll be free from our side. So 24th of March we'll be back after or evening, then we'll have the certificate distribution and that stuff, and then next morning we can fly back. Right. In case you have questions for whatever we have covered till now, feel free to ask. Great. Meera ma'am, can you keep on mute, please? All right, done. Yeah, anyone feels anything I've missed out, please let me know. I'll be happy to cover.
Well, Ravi here. Probably this is something that I missed out, that this trip is in the month of March. When is your next one?
After March, we have 30th of July. July, August, September, all 3 months we have Kilimanjaro batches.
Okay. And which ones will you be joining?
For me, this is the last batch I'm doing, sir, because after that, the calendar is kind of full. July we have in Kyrgyzstan, we're doing a lot of climbs. Then August, we are doing, August, I'm doing Elbrus, which is in Russia. So
All right.
personally, this would be the batch I'll be doing, sir.
Okay. Okay. And all the batches through Lemosho route or the other one?
Yeah, since we have found that Lemosho route is much better as regards the experience is concerned, so that's why we are going ahead with Lemosho route only.
Miss Priyanka.
So Barangu, we are only doing if there is a batch which says if a group of people, let's say 8 or 10, and they say they want to do only Barangu because of some constraints, then only we are doing it. Otherwise, we are going ahead with Lemosho only.
Okay. Okay. So you have it in August and September as well. In the August. Okay. Understood. So probably for me, joining in the month of March might be tough. So I'll be looking at the August ones.
Sure, sir. Whatever works for you based on your time schedule and all, you can go ahead.
Right. Yeah.
Romil, what about the visa? Is it visa on arrival?
Yeah, you're right, ma'am. Visa is on arrival. Yeah, very important point you touched. For Indians, once you reach at the airport, you can get the visa. It costs $50 and it's readily available. Within 5 minutes, you'll get it.
Okay.
Important point to note is that anyone who is doing Kilimanjaro or going to Africa needs to have a yellow fever vaccination. So that you can get it done in your city. In Delhi, there's a online link. You have to book in advance. They charge about $300, and it's a once in a lifetime vaccination which is needed in case of yellow fever. Yeah, any other questions? So visa is on arrival and yellow fever vaccination is mandatory. Otherwise, you'll not be able to board the flight from here.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Anything else which you think I've missed out? Yeah, ma'am. Yeah, so Meru is another peak which is close to 4,400 meters. So in case people want to do, yeah, that again is an option. It's so there are two options: 3-day climb and a 4-day. 4-day one is obviously easier than the 3-day one because it's more it's easy on the body to finish it. So in case people want, they can do Meru as well.
So for that, you need to come down and then climb again up, right?
Yes, it's on a different route. So you need to come
Okay.
down fully to Mushi.
Mm-hmm.
Advisable take a day off because body would be pretty tired after the climb, and then you can start the next day onwards. Advantage is your body will be well acclimatized since you've already done 5,900 meters. So altitude wise, you'll not have any problem going to 4,400. But yeah, having said that, since your body is tired physically, so it'll be a different challenge, right?
Got it. Yeah.
And you'll need about 4 days more to do Meru. Bharat, Rachit, anything you think I've missed out? We can always pitch in.
No, sir, all good.
Anyone else feels there's something which needs to be added or to be shared, please let me know. I'll be happy to answer. Be it flights or anything, any information needed, we can always help.
So, Romil, one more question is how many dollars should we be carrying? I know there is an amount which we have to pay you, but other than that, how many dollars should we be carrying for tips and other things?
Ma'am, what happens is once you're on the climb, in case you want to use Wi-Fi, they have some package for 6 days. If somebody wants to buy that package, they can do that. That's about $50 or something for 6 days. I'm not too sure because generally once I'm out, then I don't stay in the network. Or we use data. That is also an option there. Apart from that, rental is one thing which you'll need to pay. And then food and all on day one. Once you are there in Moshi, that time only breakfast is included, lunch and dinner, or if you want to do some shopping, only that expenses is there. Rest of the part is rest is generally on once you're on the mountain, there's nowhere you need to spend. So apart from that, there's no requirement.
Okay. Thank you.
Welcome, ma'am. Okay, so in case there are no more questions, we'll call it off. And feel free to ask. You have my number or Rachit's number or Bharat. Feel free to connect with us anytime anything is bothering you or anything you want to ask about the climb. we'll be happy to answer anything on Kili or any other climb. Right? Great, and thank you so much for the time. Have a great weekend ahead.
Yeah.
All the very best.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kanath. Always nice talking to you. Nice. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Bye, guys.